Hi. Today, May 10, Google had its I/O conference, and these are the key points for web developers. First, a new Google Core Web Vital input for measuring speed. It's called Interaction to Next Paint, or INP. From what I understood, they will measure how long it will take your web page to transition to different screen sizes. After I talk about these points, I'll add recordings of these points highlighted here. So basically from the keynote. The second one, WebAssembly or Wasm, now supports managed memory languages. WebGPU, a new API for the web, which exposes modern hardware capabilities and allows rendering and computation operations on a GPU. TensorFlow runs 100x faster on WebGPU than vanilla JavaScript. Firebase hosting now supports Astro, Flutter Web, Nuxt, Sveltekit, in addition to Next.js and Angular Universal. Debugging improved a little for web apps. Baseline, a similar thing to caniuse.com, shows if the main browsers support a certain feature. And this is the website, web.dev/baseline. This is the website. You can read about it in more detail. I'll add all links in the description of the video. I tried a function of MDN documentation, and I see that they haven't yet implemented it, but it'll probably take a few hours or maybe a few days, and they'll add it. Firebase AI extensions. Extensions.dev/extensions, and I will add this link, and you can view all the new extensions based on AI. Let me show you quickly, because they then don't talk about much about these extensions on the keynote. Chatbot, language tasks, summarized text, semantic search, speech to text, extract image text with Cloud Vision AI, label images, label video, some search, and convert text to speech. They were added recently, probably during the event or some close time, and those are the extensions. And the last, Bard AI Chatbot. It knows 20 programming languages, and integrates with some Google products like Sheets, Maps, and Lens. We'll be able to generate images based on text input through their partnership with the Adobe Firefly.
We're also thrilled to release several new Firebase extensions that use the PaLM API. So you can integrate and extend from Google and other API providers. Take the new chatbot with PaLM API extension, so you can easily add a chat interface for continuous dialogue, text summarization, and more. Last month, we added coding capabilities to Bard, an experiment that's now powered by PaLM 2. Bard can act as your collaborator in over 20 languages, helping you to generate code, find bugs, add annotations, and more. My favorite thing to do is play with Bard to help me learn something entirely new, like asking for examples of code in a different language. Over the next hour, you will see more exciting ways that AI can help you to be more productive with all the tools and platforms that you rely on.
Janine talked about the importance of being open by design. And that's one of the things that makes the web so critical. It's a platform that's owned by none of us and shared by all of us. And with Google's contributions to Chromium, Angular, Interop, and many other efforts, we want to keep moving the web forward, to keep on keeping open. We also want to make sure that the web's tools and APIs are solving real-world problems and doing so efficiently. So today, I'm going to share a few challenges and opportunities that we're trying to address together to deliver a web that's both more powerful and way easier to work on. The first opportunity is really about reaching new customers across platforms. The web is a key part of this conversation. It's often called the universal runtime. At the same time, nearly all of us are also making investments in client and server apps. Now, this is not a web or native thing. Honestly, that debate is pretty boring. This is a web and native thing. The key is figuring out how to take your investments in desktop or mobile and make it easy to target the web. WebAssembly, or Wasm, makes this possible. Since it arrived a couple years ago, we've seen companies like Figma, Unity, Snap, VLC, and others use Wasm to bring code from their C++, C#, even their Swift apps, and run it on the web. Today, we have some really cool updates for the community. For starters, WebAssembly now supports managed memory languages. This extends the benefits of Wasm to even more workflows. For example, if you're writing your app in Dart and Flutter, Wasm can now run your browser code more than 3 times faster than compiling to JavaScript. I'm also excited about what this means for Android developers, most of whom are writing their apps in Kotlin. Starting today, thanks to some early work by JetBrains, Kotlin also runs on Wasm. This means you'll be able to write your Android features just once, then use Wasm to deploy your app to the web. You get to reach new customers with native performance, and it's a great example of how web and native can really scale your efforts. Another opportunity that's certainly top of mind right now is AI and machine learning. And there's a critical role for the web to play here, and it all starts with GPUs, the stuff you need to train and run the models that you saw earlier from Simon. Today, most of these workloads are served in the cloud, and there's a complementary set of GPUs in the devices we use every day. The problem is it's not very accessible right now, and we can change that with the web. That's why we're excited to highlight WebGPU. It's a new API, yes. It's a new API that unlocks the power of GPU hardware and makes the web AI ready. After all, the web is already on phones, desktops, laptops. WebGPU just gives you access to all of that local compute, so you can save money, increase speed, and build privacy-preserving features. Let me share a few details. In terms of performance, ML libraries like TensorFlow.js now run over 100 times faster on WebGPU than vanilla JavaScript. These kinds of gains make a big difference when you're running AI models or graphics-heavy apps. You can really see the difference here in this diffusion model running on WebGL on the left versus WebGPU on the right, both of which are running inside the browser. Now, I'm going to ask the model for an image of a cat next to a window with the sunlight streaming in. Fun fact, lots of Chrome folks are cat people, so this example is pretty on brand. As you can see, WebGPU finishes in just under 10 seconds, while WebGL takes over 3 times longer. And until recently, WebGL was the fastest implementation on the web. AI, ML, LLMs, look, they're a big deal for a good reason. And by using WebGPU, you can now build your app with compute that's both in the cloud and on the local device. I also just want to acknowledge the many new APIs and components that we're discussing at I/O to deliver a more capable platform. I'm not going to do them justice in just 5 seconds, but there are more than 100 new updates in the I/O sessions that we'll discuss, from storage solutions like SQLite to UI features like view transitions. We do this work as an ecosystem, so please do check them out. Now, so far we've talked about a more powerful web. These APIs and these features, they're cool. What's really cool, though, is when they're easy to use and they seamlessly match your workflow. So you can spend more time actually building and less time as a systems integrator. Let me show you some updates that will really enhance your productivity. The first is about web frameworks. And yes, it's easy to romanticize about vanilla JavaScript, especially if you started your own journey with text editor, view source, maybe Stack Overflow, and sheer determination. The thing is, more than half of us use front-end frameworks to build our apps. This abstracted web is the web. So today, we're introducing some new tools to reflect this reality. First up is Firebase hosting, which many of us already use to deploy apps. Last year, we added support for frameworks like Next.js and Angular. Yes, I see you. And starting today, we are expanding this support to include Astro, Flutter Web, and others. In addition, you can now serve backend code in hosting preview channels, so you can verify changes to your app without affecting production. For all you Flutter fans, we continue. I see you. For all you Flutter fans, we continue to address your top asks, and version 3.10 significantly reduces load times and integrates Flutter Web into existing web content. In fact, what you're going to see here is an example of Flutter Web running inside of an Angular app. It's like a big framework hug. Finally, regardless your framework of choice, you'll eventually need to debug some of your code. It happens. Many of us debug with Chrome DevTools, and starting today, it does a much better job of code that's generated by modern frameworks. From cleaner stack traces, to a new show your code option, to more breakpoint reliability. It just works, so you can focus on your app experience. Another area that really impacts productivity is performance tuning. Have you already reduced your load times by 3x? Probably yes. Do you still want it to be faster? Also probably yes. And too often that work feels like you're trying to do it with your eyes closed. We want to help. So today we got a few updates that offer insight into real-world performance and make it easier to actually achieve your performance goals. In terms of metrics, Core Web Vitals has emerged as a key yardstick for quality and performance, with an initial focus on page loading. At the same time, we know that page responsiveness is a key part of the overall experience. Is your app reactive or responsive, or more a snap in a given session? Today, we're announcing that interaction to Next Paint, or INP, is graduating from experimental, and by next year, it'll become the vital metric that captures that dimension of responsiveness. The lower the number, the more users are getting immediate feedback in your app. And that kind of intel is crucial when it comes to app quality. To help you actually reach your performance goals, we've been working with frameworks to integrate vitals into measurement directly. And as of today, that set includes Next.js, Nuxt, and Angular. And if you use Angular, version 16 now includes a new reactivity model and improvements to server-side rendering and hydration that significantly improve your vital scores. Look, we get that app performance isn't just an optimization. It's one of your most important features. And today's updates are designed to really speed things up, both in terms of the benchmarking and the actual tuning. Okay, one more thing, and I really do mean one more thing, both because I'm going to hand off after this and because it's something that I'm especially excited about. So far, we've talked about APIs, capabilities, quality improvements, tools, all the things that you can do on the web platform. And yet, all too often, the dub actually stands for Wild Wild West. Is this API supported in this browser? Can I depend on this CSS transition? Am I getting the latest and greatest when I use this framework? Trying to make sense of all that is like that moment, it's like just before the orchestra starts, when everyone's tuning their instrument, it's big and it's loud and it's noisy. And then the musicians come together around a single shared note. And it feels great. We want to bring that level of clarity to platform changes. So we've been working in the WebDX community group with browser vendors like Apple, Mozilla, Microsoft, framework providers like Angular, Nuxt, Next.js, to establish a stable and predictable view of the web. And it's called Baseline. Baseline captures the evergreen set of features that are supported across browsers, and it finally takes the guesswork out of, can I actually use this in my app or not? Every year, we'll also introduce Baseline 23, 24, 25, which will be a cut of everything's new across browsers and compatible. It's going to be an annual release for the entire web ecosystem. MDN has been a close partner in this work. So here's Hermina Conde to share more.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Hermina Conde, and I'm the director of MDN at Mozilla. At MDN, we provide documentation for modern web development to more than 1 million developers every day. However, we understand that keeping up with the constantly evolving web platform is a major challenge for developers. More importantly, there's tremendous innovation happening in the browser space, and developers don't have a common language to talk about the features that are generally available for use on the web. To address this issue, we've partnered with Google and the WebDX community group to provide a transparent view of stable and well-supported features that drive the platform's growth, giving developers a simple and clear signal of what's the baseline for the web platform. Starting today, we'll be rolling out this labeling on our site, as you can see here, and hope to cover all relevant features in the coming months. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Hermina. You know, browser interop and compatibility really get to the core of what makes the web great. It's this ability to collaborate and federate across companies, stacks, and endpoints, where all of us is truly better than any single one of us. And with Baseline, we can still provide a consistent experience. No more wild, wild west, just the World Wide Web. And we're grateful for the chance to contribute.
Thanks, Sundar. Large language models have captured the world's imagination, changing how we think about the future of computing. We launched Bard as a limited access experiment on a lightweight large language model to get feedback and iterate. And since then, the team has been working hard to make rapid improvements and launch them quickly. With PaLM 2, Bard's math, logic, and reasoning skills made a huge leap forward, underpinning its ability to help developers with programming. Bard can now collaborate on tasks like code generation, debugging, and explaining code snippets. Bard has already learned more than 20 programming languages, including C++, Go, JavaScript, Python, Kotlin, and even Google Sheets functions. And we're thrilled to see that coding has quickly become one of the most popular things that people are doing with Bard. So let's take a look at an example. I've recently been learning chess, and for fun, I thought I'd see if I can program a move in Python. How would I use Python to generate the scholar's mate move in chess? Okay, here Bard created a script to recreate this chess move in Python. And notice how it also formatted the code nicely, making it easy to read. We've also heard great feedback from developers about how Bard provides code citations. And starting next week, you'll notice something right here. We're making code citations even more precise. If Bard brings in a block of code, just click this annotation, and Bard will underline the block and link to the source. Now, Bard can also help me understand the code. Could you tell me what chess.board does in this code? Now, this is a super helpful explanation of what it's doing and makes things more clear. All right, let's see if we can make this code a little better. How would I improve this code? Okay, let's see. There's a list comprehension, creating a function, and using a generator. Those are some great suggestions. Now, could you join them into one single Python code block? Okay, now Bard is rebuilding the code with these improvements. Okay, great. How easy was that? And in a couple clicks, I can move this directly into Colab. Developers love the ability to bring code from Bard into their workflow, like to Colab. So coming soon, we're adding the ability to export and run code with our partner Replit, starting with Python. We've also heard that you want dark theme, so starting today, you can activate it. You can activate it right in Bard or let it follow your OS settings. And speaking of exporting things, people often ask Bard for a head start drafting emails and documents. So today, we are launching 2 more export actions, making it easy to move Bard's responses right into Gmail and Docs. So we're excited by how quickly Bard and the underlying models are improving, but we're not stopping there. We want to bring more capabilities to Bard to fuel your curiosity and imagination. And so I'm excited to announce that tools are coming to Bard. As you collaborate with Bard, you'll be able to tap into services from Google and extensions with partners to let you do things never before possible. And of course, we'll approach this responsibly in a secure and private way, letting you always stay in control. We're starting with some of the Google apps that people love and use every day. It's incredible what Bard can already do with text, but images are such a fundamental part of how we learn and express. So in the next few weeks, Bard will become more visual, both in its responses and your prompts. So if you ask, what are some must-see sites in New Orleans? Bard's going to use Google Search and the Knowledge Graph to find the most relevant images. Okay, here we go. The French Quarter, the Garden District. These images are really giving me a much better sense of what I'm exploring. We'll also make it easy for you to prompt Bard with images, giving you even more ways to explore and create. People love Google Lens, and in the coming months, we're bringing in the powers of Lens to Bard. So, if you're looking to have some fun with your fur babies, you might upload an image and ask Bard to write a funny caption about these two. Now, Lens detects that this is a photo of a goofy German Shepherd and a golden retriever, and then Bard uses that to create some funny captions. If you ask me, I think they're both good boys. Okay, now let's do another one. Imagine I'm 18 and I need to apply to college. I won't date myself with how long it's been, but it's still an overwhelming process. So I'm thinking about colleges, but I'm not sure what I want to focus on. I'm into video games, and what kinds of programs might be interesting? Okay, this is a helpful head start. Animation looks pretty interesting. Now I could ask, help me find colleges with animation programs in Pennsylvania. Okay, great, that's a good list of schools. Now to see where these are, I might now say, show these on a map. Here, Bard's going to use Google Maps to visualize where the schools are. This is super helpful, and it's exciting to see that there's plenty of options not too far from home. Now let's start organizing things a bit. Show these options as a table. Nice. Structured and organized, but there's more I want to know. Add a column showing whether they're public or private schools. Perfect. This is a great start to build on. And now let's move this to Google Sheets so my family can jump in later to help me with my search. You can see how easy it will be to get a jump start in Bard and quickly have something useful to move over to apps like Docs or Sheets to build on with others. Okay, now that's a taste of what's possible when Bard meets some of Google's apps. But that's just the start. Bard will be able to tap into all kinds of services from across the web with extensions from incredible partners like Instacart, Indeed, Khan Academy, and many more. So here's a look at one coming in the next couple months. With Adobe Firefly, you'll be able to generate completely new images from your imagination right in Bard. Now, let's say I'm planning a birthday party for my 7-year-old who loves unicorns. I want a fun image to send out with the invitations. Make an image of a unicorn and a cake at a kid's party. Okay, now Bard is working with Firefly to bring what I imagined to life. How amazing is that? This will unlock all kinds of ways that you can take your creativity further and faster. And we are so excited for this partnership. Bard continues to rapidly improve and learn new abilities. And we want to let people around the world try it out and share their feedback. So today, we are removing the waitlist and opening up Bard to over 180 countries and territories. With more coming soon. And in addition to becoming available in more places, Bard is also becoming available in more languages. Beyond English, starting today, you'll be able to talk to Bard in Japanese and Korean. Adding languages responsibly involves deep work to get things like quality and local nuances right. And we're pleased to share that we're on track to support 40 languages soon. It's amazing to see the rate of progress so far. More advanced models, so many new capabilities, and the ability for even more people to collaborate with Bard. And when we're ready to move Bard to our Gemini model, I'm really excited about more advancements to come. So that's where we're going with Bard, connecting tools from Google and amazing services across the web to help you do and create anything you can imagine through a fluid collaboration with our most capable large language models. There's so much to share in the days ahead.
Like the video, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great day.